Well, welcome back to class, and we're going gradually to the end of this module 3, and this is the 10th lesson in module 3. And in this lesson, of course, as we can see from the slide, we would be looking at the responsibilities of the Scrum Master to the development team. In the last lesson, we looked at the responsibilities of the Scrum Master to the product owner. That's in essence how the Scrum Master supports and guides the product owner in delivering on his role or her role. So in this class, we now shift the focus to the development team, talking about the developers. Okay, now the first one, which of course by now I believe every one of us should be able to relate to well, is the Scrum Master removing obstacles. So interchangeably, we use obstacles, we use impediments. They are synonymous in meaning. They could have some slight differences, but they are synonymous in meaning. Anything that is affecting the delivery of a sprint goal could be referred to as an obstacle or impediment. So, of course, the Scrum Master is supporting the developers to remove those impediments. Supporting the developers, the Scrum Master is supporting the developers to remove those impediments. That is one thing. A Scrum Master should be able to know of, um, to be conversant with, to ensure that the developers are able to focus on work. So in practice, some of the things a Scrum Master may want to do while you are joining a new team is to catch up with each of those developers. I do that when I join a new team. I have one-on-one meeting with all the developers after I would have had one with the product owner. I will now have one-on-one meeting with the developers, engaging with them, introducing myself to them, giving them some knowledge of the value that I will bring to the team, and I'm there to support them, in this case, that individual developer. So I'll be able to now ask the developer what he or she is working on, and some of the challenges he's been facing or she's been facing, and how best I could support that particular developer. So developers are quite glad when a Scrum Master does that. You are catching up with them, you are showing them some support, you are also buying trust, and of course they will be able to tell you some of the obstacles that they are having, which when you note them down would give you that background understanding of how the team, um, of what the team is, how they deliver, and the challenges they've been having. So that's one. Then two, the Scrum Master also coach and mentors the developer in the ways of Scrum. Your coaching and mentoring is to help developers adjust to Scrum. Most developers, they do not know about Agile at all. Some developers know about Agile, but they don't know the differences in the different frameworks in Agile. Some developers also enjoy working alone. They work in silos. Some could have been working alone all their lives. Now they belong to a team. So you need to support those developers to begin to build the agile mindset, the growth mindset of working together collaboratively, self-organizing in a team, building a cross-functional team, building autonomy into the team, and all the rest. So the Scrum Master is coaching and mentoring their developers to begin to imbibe good agile practices. All this flow into um, areas like progressing your tickets on the board, adding comments to your tickets for better transparency, flagging off quicker when you have impediments or challenges. So, in a nutshell, the Scrum Master is supporting the developers to imbibe a good culture and understanding of Scrum. And by so doing, they'll begin to see the values Scrum had brought. These steps further also, beyond just in a nominal way, the Scrum Master is facilitating those Scrum events and other meetings. The Scrum Master is also ensuring that the developers understand the value of each of those meetings. The developers should be able to know the benefits each of those meetings had been developed or designed for. So, from that angle, they would be excited. They will see it those events as added support for themselves. They would be excited to come for those meetings because they could see value from those meetings. So it's important that the Scrum Master, while facilitating Scrum events and other meetings, is also coaching and guiding the developers on the values of those meetings. One other thing you want to do also is to begin to encourage your team members, particularly when it has to do with the daily stand up. Your team members should be able to self organize themselves in the course of the daily stand up, whereby after a while the Scrum Master should just be joining and should just observe the developers run their thing. I've mentioned in previous classes that the daily stand up belongs to the developers. That is one of the questions you could meet in your certification test. The daily stand up belongs to the developers. It is a meeting for themselves to update themselves. Is an inspective, transparent meetings for the developers. It is to improve coordination, collaboration towards the sprint goal. But the Scrum Master is there with them, supporting them when there are issues, is jumping in to help them resolve those issues, and is also teaching them, coaching them on how to run such a meeting effectively. Is making sure that the agenda of each meeting, um, the agenda of the meeting are followed. Is also making sure that the time boxing of each of those meetings are adhered to. Then, of course, I've explained enforcing Scrum values and principles. By now, we should know that those 5 Scrum values, talking about focus, openness, respect, courage, and commitment. Commitment towards the sprint goal. If you need to catch up on that, please go back to module 1 when we discuss the Scrum values. Of course, so the Scrum Master is enforcing Scrum values and principles amongst the developers. And of course, it says it's supporting a dynamic team, dynamic in the sense of adaptation, of quick adjustment, quick alignment, responding to change. Developers sometimes could find it difficult to respond to change, but the Scrum Master should be there to support the team to be dynamic, to be adaptive, to be flexible and embracing change, to be able to imbibe the growth mindset, to be able to embrace self development also, which pays better for the team on the long run. Then, of course, I've mentioned this in one of the previous classes, that the Scrum Master is there to protect the team members, to shield the team members. And one of the ways the Scrum Master does that is to make sure that the stakeholders are not sending tasks directly to the developers. I've mentioned in some of those classes that the stakeholders should always go through the product owners. All requirements are to be sent to the product owner, who prioritizes such into the product backlog, and the team now sits and deliberate on it. Where the Scrum Master observes that some of these stakeholders are beginning to send work items directly to the developers, that means some troubles are coming for the team, because the team will begin to lose focus. The team will begin to have so many tasks outside what they can see, and it will begin to impact on their delivery. That could happen in an organization where you have stakeholders from different departments, and coincidentally, those heads of those departments know the developers directly. So they may tend to send mails directly to the developer and say, I need this, work on this. That should not happen in a Scrum team. Every requirement should come from the PO to the development team. So the Scrum Master is needed to shield away the Scrum team from such interferences, in particular the stakeholders. Then, of course, the Scrum Master is there to track the progress of the developers using different measurements and metrics. By the time we roll over to the practicals, you would be exposed to how to track the progress of the developers, how to use different forms of metrics to see what developers are delivering per time. Some of those metrics could be the sprint burn down chart, the sprint burn up chart, the release burn down chart, the velocity chart, the cumulative frequency chart, diagram, and so on. So there are various metrics that the Scrum Master would be able to track alongside with the development team to ensure continuous improvement, to know that the team is delivering the right value, the team is moving in the right pace also. So those are the major responsibilities of the Scrum Master to the development team. And that will be all for this class. If you have any question, please send them across. I'll be glad to expand on them. We could have some time to catch up and look and provide some more answers to them. In the next class, we shall be looking at the last lesson for this module, which would be about the responsibilities of the Scrum Master to the stakeholders. So we'll see in the next class. Bye for now.